This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
YouTube intro. That was fun. Yeah. Isn't it weird that like nothing happens for like a good 5 minutes and then for like another 5 minutes you're just purely locked in?
Like doing the
So what were they doing?
I don't know.
I don't even know now what they were doing. The intricacies of people, man.
Yeah.
This "you look extraordinary" is interesting. Well, they change it all the time, don't they? We're gonna take a selfie just for fun. Hey man.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice
What's
to
your
meet
name?
you. Mike as well.
Great name. Can I take a quick photo of you? Is that
Stop now. Stop.
Thanks, mate. Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry, mate. Should we kiss?
Hi.
Hi. Well, realistically in Central, amongst the hundreds of thousands of people, we still spot each other multiple times.
Yeah.
if you want to get out all your projections, yeah, because you're boring, for example, right? And you want to like, do you think I care whether you think I'm boring? Do you think I care? I literally don't care. I would rather you didn't waste my time.
For the next part of this video, I want to go through all the photos you've just seen and give them a review and analysis. But right before we do that, I just want to say thank you to this week's video sponsor, which is Squarespace. I have been using Squarespace for years to host my portfolio. It's been my go-to platform to showcase my photography in a professional way that is really simple and straightforward to manage. I have been selling digital products on my site for a few years now, for example, my Lightroom presets, but soon I will be selling my first physical product, which will be my new street photography book. Keep an eye out for that. Pre-orders will go out very soon. That will all be managed and organized on Squarespace. Squarespace's integrated email marketing tools have been game changer for me in building and connecting with my audience via my newsletter, The Focal Point. I have been using Squarespace even before they became sponsors of this channel, and I can honestly say I can't recommend them enough. Whether you need a place for your photography, running a business, or starting a passion project, why not at least start a free trial and see what you think? After that, when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/MikeChudley to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So I wanted to add this section in here and go through all the photos you've just seen in this video, and I want to do a quick fire why I like it, why I don't like it, and or how it could be improved. Now, one of the biggest issues I will just say right off the bat here is when making street photography videos, there is a need to fill the video with some kind of content, right? And most of these photos, if not all of these photos in the video, wouldn't see the light of day. These are just attempts. This is just another practice run. For me, street photography is just practice all the time until you do get that one good photo that makes it worthwhile, for example. Now, there's a couple of photos in this video that I do like, but none of them are outstanding. So with that being said, let's fire through the photos you've just seen and I'll give you my quick thoughts on what could be better about it or what I do like about it, etc, etc. I've got the photos up on my phone. I will also give them a quick rating out of 10, and then that will hopefully explain what I think about the photo as well. So the first photo here of a woman holding her hands up to her head, blocking the sun. This is like a 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10. The gesture is a little bit interesting. It's more interesting than nothing happening. Other than the gesture, boring. The background's boring, nothing extravagant going on. So 3 out of 10. The two people in yellow matching the 3 mannequins in yellow. I love photography like this. I think the sheer coincidence and just happenstance nature is funny that things in the street like this happen all the time. You've just got to be at the right place at the right time to capture it. This could be better if there was 3 people in yellow to match the 3 mannequins. It's a game of what ifs, street photography, so that's pretty unlikely. I'm happy with the 2 people. If the light was better, that would make this a really great photo. If the light was shining on the mannequins or if there was a patch of light on the 2 people in front, that would be excellent. But instead, it's a pretty flat image. But what does make it a little bit more interesting than just a simple color match is the fact that these 2 people here are counting on their fingers or gesturing something with their hands, doing something with their fingers, and that just adds an extra point of interest. So when I'm rating out of 10s, I like to not use a number 7 because that's a safe number. People can choose a number 7 and then it's not great, it's not bad. We're not going to rate with a number 7. So I would go with an 8 because, no, actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to go with a 6, and an 8 photo or a 9 or a 10 out of 10 would be excellent light as well, and maybe an extra subject just to spice things up. Maybe a 6 out of 10 for this image. Really pleased with it. I think that's as good as it got for most of the day. The 2 people sat outside the Burberry shop. This is a 3 out of 10. The light is really nice. The composition is clean. The architecture's cool. There's lots of squares, lots of shapes, and the light, like I said, is pretty satisfactory, but nothing interesting other than that. The second photo outside Burberry shop, the blue coat is nice, contrasting with the red hat, and the spacing of the 3 subjects is nice. It's satisfying on the eye, but maybe this is a 3.5 out of 10. This guy smoking on Oxford Circus. I love this image. You might not like it. Again, street photography is personal taste, but I saw this guy lighting up his cigarette and I managed to get a hip shot where I just kind of like put my camera out there for a quick image. Didn't really think I would get the image, but he looked up, took a puff of his cigarette and looked that way. I just like the movement. I like the angle. I like the composition and the fact that he's got quite a bit of jewelry on as well. It makes his hands more interesting. I think I said this in the caption in the video, but it makes this guy feel like the hero. This is the main character of whatever story is being told here. Really quick image, really simple image, but I quite like it. So with this one, let's go with a 4.5 out of 10. The person blocking her face with the paper. This isn't overly interesting. Again, it's just something out of the ordinary that caught my eye. If you're looking at thousands of people, you want to, well, personally, I look for things that possibly break the pattern. And this just is a little bit different compared to everyone else that stood looking at whatever they were looking at. So let's go with the 3.5 for this. This moment was caught by Cal first. He pointed it out, as you saw in the video. Then I went over to take the photo. Nothing extraordinary going on here. It's just noticing little details about people and the way people hold themselves and what people get up to. We don't know anything about what's going on. Maybe she had an itch on her back, but she was holding that pose for quite a while. So like I said at the beginning of this section, street photography is about practice, and I'm kind of training my eye to notice little details like this. Even though this is the back of someone, we don't know what's going on. It's not overly interesting. It's cool to learn to notice things like this. 3 out of 10. Again, lots of 3 out of 10s in this video. The guy sat down in Trafalgar Square with his dogs. This doesn't even really need a rating because I went over and asked for the photo, so it's not like a candid street photo. I wasn't expecting the dogs to be aggressive, but they have got muzzles on, obviously for a reason. So I thought he looked good. I thought the dogs looked good. I didn't realize that I would disturb the dogs. So yeah, that's just a random moment. I can't really rate that out of 10. The photos didn't really turn out to be anything. So yeah, it is what it is. The double stacking glasses. Again, this is similar to the previous hand gesture. It's just about noticing these details and training your eye. For me, this would have been a really good image if both of the subjects had double stacking glasses. Something that I've noticed recently as well is sometimes people have really normal glasses and then really fun glasses, as if they've got two different personalities. It's just about noticing these details. This isn't extraordinary by any means. This happens all the time, but let's give this a 3 out of 10. Again, I feel like 3 out of 10 is my safe number here, because for it to be a 4 or 5, it's got to be something a little bit unusual, but a 3 out of 10 is just for the sake of taking the image. And I feel like anything less than a 3 out of 10, I probably wouldn't have pressed the shutter anyway. So a 3 out of 10 might be the baseline of, okay, that's worth taking a photo of, and then it progresses from there. Okay, this next photo with the two couples and the single person. I like stuff like this. It's just like a break of a pattern. You've got two people in the background, or two pairs of people on their phones interacting with each other, and then a guy on his own looking rather sad. This was an obvious story. This was very easy to take. I like images like this. It's a wide photo, but you're able to fill the frame with multiple subjects. I think that's difficult to do typically, but this one worked out. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. For me, this is a very objective photo. You know what's going on, and also you can read into it a little bit more. So 5 out of 10. This next photo, I wasn't recording with the GoPro, but I love it. This was a tour group in Trafalgar Square, and I just turned to see these 4 people, and they were all avoiding the sun in their own way. They were avoiding the sunlight. It's a very simple image. There's lots of gestures, but the light is good, and the positioning of these people and the spacing of them is easy on the eye. And I like that, yeah, they're all avoiding the sun, but all in different ways. Just a fun image. I'm glad I noticed it. I would give this a 5 out of 10 as well. On to the one with the white jumper and the guy holding their head. This was just a quick gesture as I was walking by, and it caught my eye, so I quickly took the photo. His expression is somewhat, it looks kind of stressed, so there's a story to be told. The subject on the left in the background also has a black and white clothing on, so there could have been a black and white theme there, maybe if there was a third subject also dressed similarly. Nothing crazy. The moment caught my eye very quickly, so I took the photo. Again, this is just practice. It's a moment, but it's not a great moment. It just is something that happened on the street. So, meh, 3 out of 10. This photo here at Piccadilly Circus really made me smile, because you've got this person sat down wiping their eyes with their hands, and then the pigeon just came in frame, flew around a little bit, hovered for a few seconds, and then flew off. If you saw from the footage, that was really weird. But what ended up happening here is the shape of the guy's fingers and the shape of the pigeon's wings are kind of similar. They're kind of wing shaped and a bit wavy, and that works out for me. Now, this could be better if the background wasn't so distracting and chaotic. The person in the top left also pointing adds another gesture, so that adds another point of interest. But again, everything else is very distracting. So it's an interesting moment. This photo would be excellent if the background was simple. If the guy wiping his face and the seagull, and the pigeon flew into frame at a nicer composition on a nicer location, this could be an excellent image. This could be really good because the gesture of the bird's wings and the guy in his hands, that could have been really good. But it's not so good. It is okay because it's an interesting moment. It's a fun image and I'm pleased I took it, but yeah. 4 out of 10. And then finally in Leicester Square, this guy with a sign that says, "Is DNA a toxic parasite?" And he was kind of protesting against having children, I think was his point. He drew a crowd, he was quite funny, he had a sense of humour, he was interacting with everyone. I don't really know what the point of what he's doing is. I took the photo, I thought it was cool, megaphone in front of his face, the sign is interesting. I think moments like this are better without context because all you can do is read the sign. You can't see the guy's face, you don't know what expression he's pulling. The sign is very obscure and is random enough for the photo to be taken. So it would be better if the subjects around him were more interesting. Perhaps the subjects were talking to him or pointing at him or disagreeing with him. If there was more engagement going on around the subject with the subject just stood in the middle looking at the lens, that could have been really interesting. But instead we've just got a couple of people either side of him kind of not doing anything special. So yeah, maybe a 3.5, 4 out of 10. Hopefully that was enough about each image to give you an explanation of what I was thinking, why the photo works, why it doesn't work, what could make it better, etc, etc. Comment down below with your thoughts on the images and my explanation of the images. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hit all that in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe. Road to 100,000 subscribers. We're almost there. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.